Gwendolyn. This week's video is going to be a sample relationship reading for Angelina Jolie Pitt and Brad Pitt. There's some interesting things in their relationship dynamic when we look at both their astrology and their cards of destiny and their numerology. Some interesting things come up. One of the first things that comes up is that they are both kings. So it may be in their relationship one of their biggest challenges may be who gets to be king of the castle, and whether they can both work that out in terms of who has the authority in any given situation, because they are both in their own right kings. Angelina Jolie is a king of diamonds and Brad Pitt is a king of cups or hearts. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later, but I'm just going to launch into the relationship reading as I would do it for any couple. So my relationship readings are usually half an hour long, and I cover the numerology, astrology, cards of destiny, love cards, and tarot for any given couple. So I'm going to start. Angelina Jolie was born on June 4th, 1975. That makes her a sun sign Gemini. She also has Mercury in Gemini, but she has a lot of planets in Aries, 4 major ones, Mars, Moon, Jupiter, and Chiron, which is actually an asteroid. And Brad Pitt was born December 18th, 1963, so that makes him a sun sign Sagittarius, but he has 4 major planets in Capricorn: the Moon, Venus, Mercury, and Mars. So Angelina's got a lot of fire energy with those planets in Aries, and Brad Pitt has a lot of planets in Earth. Again, I'll talk more about that when I get to the astrology, but just wanted to start with that. As far as their numerology goes, Angelina has a 1 personality number. The way I get that is I add the month and the day. So June 4th is 6-4, which adds up to a 1. So 1 personalities are people who are innovative, original, unique. They have leadership qualities. A 1 stands out front. It's got a lot of Aries energy to it, just like those planets in Aries that Angelina has. So she's able to stand on her own, one of a kind, not really worried about what other people think. But others, it's hard for both a king and a 1 to take any direction from anyone else, because they're so self-directed, so self-leading, so unique and innovative, and have this leadership and authority quality to them that it's hard for them to take direction or take any sort of authority from anyone else, because they have such self-authority. So the strength of that is that it provides Angelina with the will to stand on her own 2 feet, the will to be unique and unlike anyone else. However, it may present problems if someone else tries to command her or stand in a position of authority towards her, which it may present a challenge in their relationship, since they're both kings and they're both capable of authority. They're both not used to having other people direct them. It also may, there was probably initial attraction between the 2 of them because they're both powerful beings. They're both powerful people, because as kings, they probably recognized each other's inherent power and authority, and that can be it's sort of like finding a peer when you've been with others who are not kings. To find, someone else who's in a kingship position can be very complimentary, very exciting, and really have a lot of identification with each other. Brad, on the other hand, is a 3 personality. That's the creative. So 3s are all about expression. That is the number of the actor, the dancer, the dreamer, the artist, the poet, the playwright, the screenwriter, the radio DJ, anything that has to do with expression. It's got a lot of throat chakra energy to it. So 3s are inherently creative, spontaneous, social. You'll often see 3s needing to express themselves or wanting to express themselves in some artistic, creative way. And then what that means is that as a personality number combination between the 2 of them, the 1 and the 3, it's very stable. It's a 4. So a 4 personality is someone who is they've got this sort of foundation to them. 4s are reliable. They're usually nesters, in terms of they connect with their home. Because it's 4 energy, it's very stable, it's very reliable, it's very sound. So, and this echoes Brad's life path number, which is also a 4. So he's a very stable person, and grounded. He's got all this planetary energy in earth signs, and this 4 life path number. So even though he's a creative and a personality level, and he's a Sag sun sign, which, Sages are naturally happy-go-lucky. They're the explorers, they're the pioneers, they go around to the world and travel and bring back information. They're all about higher learning. They're usually optimistic and pretty carefree. He's got this grounded side to him, 4 life path number, and all this planetary energy in Earth. And he's also got this loving side to him as a King of Cups. So he's got this emotional component, which is very strong. So he does a lot of grounding for the relationship, and Angelina feels very grounded when those two are together. She is a 5 life path number, it's got a lot of Sagittarian influence to it, so that's very complementary to Brad's sun sign in Sagittarius. The 5s, and we see this with Angelina, the 5s travel the globe. 5s, or they ask questions. They make natural interviewers. So 5 is an explorer. It's someone who wants to taste all the different flavors of life, to explore different philosophies, different cultures. Travel and higher learning are features of the 5 energy. And we see that with Angelina, traveling around the world and wanting to, find out about different cultures. She's actually adopted a number of children from other countries, she and Brad both together. So between the 5, but the 5 can have restless energy. So the 5 wants to be in the midst of change, to shake things up, find out new information, bring new information back. It's exciting. It's also social, like the 3. But 5 can be restless. It can have chaotic energy to it. It is disruptive energy that causes something to break out of its shell, and search for new knowledge, new meaning. Very different from 4 energy, which is stable, reliable, grounded, consistent. 5 shakes things up. So with Brad being a 4 life path number and Angelina being a 5 life path number, together they combine to be a 9 life path number, which is the humanitarian. It's conflict resolution. It's compassionate, and we see this both with Brad and Angelina. The 9 wants to share peace with the rest of humanity. The 9 wants to solve conflicts. And that is their life path together. So they're very stable with a 4 personality combination and a 9 life path combination. Their greatest challenge is going to be who has authority in any given circumstance in their relationship, because they are both kings. Because Brad is the more foundational, stable, reliable, grounding person in the relationship, and Angelina brings a lot of the fire energy to it, and the 1 energy, the 5 energy, wanting to shake things up. She has lots of cardinal signs, which provides a lot of leadership, and Aries has a lot of fire to it, which wants to lead, and it's got a lot of 1 energy too. It wants to direct, it wants to charge out front. It's very passionate, it's like a warrior energy, which we see with her personality. The King of Diamonds birth card that she has is the successful businessman and entrepreneur. So King of Diamonds is very good with leading a financial enterprise. They often make great financial advisors. However, on the low side, it's the king, it's the only one-eyed king. So sometimes King of Diamonds can see things from their own point of view to the exclusion of anyone else's. So that is a liability with the King of Diamonds birth card that Angelina has. Brad is a King of Cups, which is the loving father card. King of Cups or King of Hearts, those are equivalent, are generally very good fathers, very good partners. They consider the emotional viewpoints of things. They come at things from an emotional, supportive angle. And he has a lot of planets in Earth. He has 6 planets in Earth, and 4 of the major ones. We see Moon, Venus, Mercury, and Mars, all in Capricorn. One challenge there is that because Aries, which Angelina has 4 planets in, and Brad having 4 planets in Capricorn, Capricorn and Aries are square to one another. We can see here, I can show you on the zodiac wheel, square is a tradition. Aries is here and Capricorn is here, so they form 90 degrees, which is a square. And in traditional astrology, that presents conflict and tension. The way I like to describe the square relationship is that I call it dynamic tension, which means that if there is inherent, it's sort of like oil and vinegar, or 2 things that don't naturally combine, but in combination they can work very well together. So the reason I call this dynamic tension is because left to their own odds, they may do this. They may, kind of conflict with one another and ram heads with one another. But if they go in the same direction, that energy can be harnessed, and it can be double power. So even though Brad and Angelina are opposites in terms of sun signs, he's a sun sign Sagittarius and she is a sun sign Gemini, that can be a nice balance of opposites. Usually when sun signs are opposite, this one has everything that this one needs, and this one has everything that this one needs. So it's a wonderful complementary alignment for their planets. It usually creates a lot of attraction too, because opposites attract. So this fiery Sagittarius energy is going to be very attracted to this air sign Gemini energy, and they each have what the other one lacks. So together they're a complete set. But with all of this energy, Brad's, a lot of planets in Capricorn, and Angelina's with her majority of planets in Aries, they've got this square, which can provide a lot of friction. Now, friction definitely doesn't always have to be bad. As long as it's harnessed, it can be applied to one direction, but they must stand side to side, shoulder to shoulder, and govern things together as 2 kings. If they try to go at one another, they're just going to be like 2 rams locking horns. So a real key for their relationship is how well they're able to cooperate, to compromise, and to grant each other authority at different times, because each one of them is going to need that. It won't work in terms of one person leading and the other person following. Sometimes that can work in relationships depending upon their dynamic, but in this relationship that will not work. They both need to fulfill their king situation. It's interesting too, because in their cards of destiny, the King of Diamonds, in this case Angelina, is the Sun card to the Moon card, which is the King of Cups or King of Hearts, which is Brad. So in many ways, Angelina provides the direction of this relationship. She's got the 1 personality number, which is leadership and authority. She's got all this Aries energy, which is the warrior that goes out front. Brad actually likes that about her because it echoes his fire sign. Sagittarius and Aries share the same element of fire, so he really gets that. However, and she's the sun in the life spread to Brad, who's the moon card, as King of Hearts to the King of Diamonds. So they have a sun-moon energy, which creates a lot of familiarity. It creates a lot of inherent natural kinship. Basically, the sun directs the dynamic and the direction of the relationship, and the moon is there for support and reflects back the light of the person who's the sun back to that person. So he's in a really supportive, foundational, reflects back her light to her. That's the dynamic between sun and moon, and it's wonderful for marriage. It's no surprise that these two got married and felt this inherent closeness. There was probably a lot of initial attraction too. They have 3 out of their 5 dynamics are Mars, which creates a lot of passion, a lot of fire between the two of them. They have 1 Venus connection, and then this primary connection is this sun-moon connection, which is close, dynamic relationship energy. Their secondary dynamic is that Angelina is Mars to Brad in the spiritual spread, and what that means is that in a spiritual level, she provides a lot of fire to him, and passion, excitement. She's this sort of catalyst for him with all this Aries energy, and as Mars and as the sun to him, she brings so much fire to the relationship, and he provides a lot of earth, grounding energy. So it can absolutely work as long as Brad provides this supportive, steady, grounding reflection of her energy back to her, sort of holding up a mirror for all of her fire energy and really connecting it to earth, because Angelina doesn't have any earth in her chart. None whatsoever. It's all fire, a couple water things, and air. We see, sun sign, and her Mercury is in air, but he provides that missing component of earth. So there's so much complementariness here, or complementarity, but their challenge is to not be 2 chefs in the kitchen, not be 2 kings in the castle, which they are, and not to go head to head, but instead to harness that energy and to go in the same direction with it. And for Angelina to lean on Brad's grounding, his foundational support in this relationship, because he really is the one who is the more grounded of the two. She's the more fiery of the two. So that is the numerology, the astrology, the cards of destiny analysis for these two. And then I am just going to wrap it up with a quick tarot reading for the two of them, because I haven't spoken with either of them. I usually like to get the client's energy in the cards, but I'm just going to shuffle here and do a quick tarot reading and see what comes up for the two of them. So let's take a look. I'm just going to do a shadow highlight reading. This is the situation. It looks like something in their relationship may have come to a standstill, and that is what Knight of Pentacles energy is. It's when things are kind of stuck in the mud. So that's what I'm getting for the two of them. And it's also in reverse. So when this is the card, it's Jack of Diamonds or Knight of Pents, and he usually weighs things out and considers things. Even though he's a Jack or a Knight, which is all about experimenting with energies, it can be cautious, but it sometimes can be overly cautious. He thinks things through, but sometimes that can be debilitating. He's very grounded, but he sometimes is overly so. He can sometimes be a stick in the mud. And the fact that this card is showing in the reverse position in their central position says that they're coming to some sort of stuckness. Things may feel stuck right now between the two of them. It may feel like things are stuck in the mud. That's Jack of Coins energy in reverse. What's in their highlight position is that things are happening very rapidly. There's new information coming in. This is 8 of Wands, and in the reverse position, Eight of Wands basically means that there's information coming into the situation. It's happening rapidly. It's 80 to 90% lined up. Something is coming to a conclusion for them. One of them or both of them may not have all of the information that's needed. This means that this is like when you find the last jigsaw puzzle, when you find that last piece of information, or you get an aha moment, something's revealed to you. It's information flying through the air, so things happen quickly. There's something that is coming to a conclusion, but I'm seeing that one or more of them may not have the full picture. That's usually what Eight of Wands to mean in the reverse position means. That's what's highlighted. What is passing away for them is this feeling of my cup runneth over. This is Ace of Cups. So this means that this is a card of joy, of fulfillment, of emotional fulfillment. Cups represent heart energy and emotion. And this card is a new beginning of the heart. So it may be that there was a time where they've both felt my cup runneth over. It's full of creativity, full of joy, full of feeling emotionally fulfilled. Because of this stuckness, there may be a way in which there is some worry or some tension in the air. This is Nine of Swords, which I call making mountains out of molehills. So in this card, there's these two fists that are tied, and there are three. Swords represent thought or the air element or ideas. And so there are some thoughts here that are being tangled with. But because of this card, it means that those three thoughts are being turned into 9 thoughts, or there's a lot of over worry or overthinking of things, over analysis. This is a card of worry and tension. It's kind of like being wrapped up in your mind too much. So one or more of them may be wrapped up in overthinking a situation. And the way out of this is to just accept to accept conflicts, to accept the current things that you're thinking over, but not overthink it, not get wrapped up in your mind. And then this is the King of Coins, which is Angelina's card, and this is what's in shadow. So this is telling me that she's not feeling like her full self. There's some way in which she's not feeling like she's in shadow and she's upside down right now. So she is not coming to the surface, and there's something about Angelina that may feel like she is not her authentic self right now, or not as full and capable as the person that she normally is. I'm thinking of that image that has been presented before many times of when you hold a cork down below the water. Its natural existence is to float on the top of the water, and it's carefree, and it's natural. It's what wants to happen. But when you're holding something below the water like a cork, it's showing that tension or resistance, and that's what King of Coins in shadow in the reverse position is saying. There's something about her where she's not feeling her full self right now. It may be due to tension, anxiety, overthinking of things. And it may be related to feeling like things are stuck in the mud. But there was this period, in the past where everything felt like my cup runneth over. It may be that there is some information that needs to come to the surface for things to come about, and it may be happening quickly. So that's the read that I get on Brad and Angelina right now, that there's some sort of thing that may feel a little bit stuck, and Angelina may need to express something, share some information, come out of being in her mind. This could also be Brad, but that in order to correct the King of Diamonds being in reverse and in shadow, she needs to feel like herself again. So that is my reading for Brad and Angelina. I'm really hopeful for them that they are able to negotiate this double king energy. It's very powerful stuff. It's very strong, but it requires that compromise, that coming together and finding a way where they can each govern, they can each represent their authority and harness that Aries Capricorn square into united energy that goes in the same direction rather than conflicted energy. So that's my reading for Brad and Angelina. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe if you like. Down here in the corner, I think it's like right about there. And if you'd like to book a reading with me, you're welcome to do so. On my website, I have links to that below as well. Thanks always so much for watching. Yours in the stars.